All right, sweet.
The roll call
All right, trustee Borkhardt,
here.
Anna Whitlinger,
Here.
and then Alex Kulis,
Present.
and then Ron Kinachowski.
Here.
Okay, then do we have any public comments today? Sure, the other, yeah. Okay, then we're on to reports. So I just wanted to say great job to the Parks and Department for the summer concert series. I was able to attend the one yesterday and it was perfect day and they did a great job on that. So thank you for doing that. Let's see, any committee members of the report?
Is there one person online?
No, it should just be me.
Oh.
We just use Carly's.
Oh, okay.
She's the
You were saying for public comment.
yeah city admin.
Buy some money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Then director, do you have any comments?
Just want to let everybody know that Matt Esser, he turned in his 2 weeks. He's going on to work for Viridian Homes. So just so you guys are all on speed with that. So it'll be myself, Sayer, and Jill for the current time. So yeah, that's what we got.
Plans to backfill?
Unsure as of right now. We'll see what happens. But you know, we obviously go into kind of a slower time of year.
Yep.
And we got just flag football and basketball starting up. So we'll just kind of see what happens.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
All right, we can move on to committee discussion. So first discussion and possible action to approve the PRC minutes of July 2026. So for this, it needs to be someone who was in attendance at our last meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from July 20th, 2026.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? I'll second. Okay. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Moving on to number 2, discussion and possible action regarding Cross Plains pool staff wages for the 2027 summer season.
Okay.
Sign.
Sorry, we're moving so quick. I was. I mean, I don't know if we would have had to already have done that, but I mean, well, unless you change the agenda.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Right, we've done it though before, but that's okay.
We used to do a lot of with it.
Yeah.
So like it was okay to move things around.
I would hold off on it.
Okay. All right, so this one.
Yeah, I can lead this one. So, just kind of, yeah. So, sorry, I'm struggling today, I guess. So obviously with pool staff wages, one thing that, I'm kind of seeing here is we do have some low wages for certain groups. One of them is the lifeguard staff comparatively to others. Another group that's kind of a little bit below where they should be market wise is our referees and flag football ones, but that's a little bit different since they're private kind of contractors on that. With the pool staff, this is obviously a bigger decision with that expense and stuff. So just doing some research on it. Hopefully you guys had a chance to kind of look at where everything was comparatively to where we're at. Currently, you can see us right down here for Cross Plains in Dane County. We're at $12 for lifeguards. It technically is $11, but it comes out to be $12 because they've done this dollar bonus at the end of the year. With that dollar bonus, it's however many hours you work, you just get like a payment at the end of the year. I'm against that just because like it's not really a bonus. Everybody just gets it. It's not like they have to hit certain goals. And then also too, it's a little bit more work on ourselves to then go and look up that.
Like, why did we do that?
I think because it was so low that they tried to like have people work the whole summer thinking that that extra dollar is going to matter.
So they don't quit August 1st, and then you have 3 weeks we don't have any.
Yeah, but I mean, essentially, we'd still pay them. So, like, based on what the guards have said and everybody else, it seems like we always just give them the bonus. So it's not really anything.
When because I was there when we were doing it, we were trying to do something. Like at that time, we were having a really hard time getting enough lifeguards, and so we thought like, good kid, if you get that chunk at the end, but that would also make them want to come back. It was like what they would be left in, you know what I mean? But
Yeah. And then we have the $17. That's for the manager. That one, there's technically a manager and then there's assistant managers. Assistant managers are at 15.
Do you have an average for all of these?
Yeah, it's on the bottom.
Okay.
One of those is always there for managers. There's been a couple times where, things come up and I'll just kind of hang out there for a little bit just so somebody, knows what's going on with the chemicals and stuff. And then the basket room is way over here at $9. That one is correct. And then they would get the dollar bonus at the end of the year too. So they would really be at 10 then. But if you look at all these other pools, you can see kind of our big competition with some of them and where we run into some problems. It would be with Middleton Cross Plains. This is the school. So they're at 15. The Middleton Parks and Rec Department, that's their pool. They're at 17. And then scrolling down a little bit further, we have Mazomanie at 15. They obviously pay their managers a little bit less. So those are, the close proximity ones, we'll say there. And then you can see we have further down, we have the averages. So average comes out to 1464. The low on it, you can see what counties are in. They're not in the Dane County area. And then even the high end, obviously like we bring that down for the average. So you can see that across the board when it comes to even the managers and then even the basket room too here, where we're about $1, lower.
Remind me with that basket room.
So it's the front desk person. They're checking people in. They're selling concessions. I will say that number can be a little bit goofy for places because their basket room might be more of like a fitness attendant too. And generally speaking, like if it's at like the high school or some of these other places, you can see like that we got a couple up top here with like UW. Some of those other places can throw it off a little bit. Verona's another one where they have a couple people sitting up in the front, and they're also checking people into other places.
So it's like cashiers or.
Yeah, and for us, we're selling food. They help with a little bit of cleaning here and there in the evening, but they're the face of it when people walk right in and stuff like that. But once again, we're on the low side there, and so ultimately, I don't know if you guys kind of read what I put down here, but for me, I would suggest going to $10 for basket room, 15 for lifeguards and swim instructors. I didn't break it down based on, an instructor having a WSI, which is the water safety instructor certification, because most kids and even adults won't bother getting that anymore because it's just not worth it to take the class. The class is like 30 plus hours and it costs $300. So that's kind of a tough one. The assistant manager is bumping them up because technically they're obviously in charge when the manager's not there. So at 18 and then the manager at 20. And then each year of service to the respected position, they would get an extra 50 cents. So if they do basket room for 2 years, it doesn't mean that when they become a lifeguard, they'd be at 16. They would start back over at 15 because it's for the position. And then I would get rid of the $1 an hour bonus just because it doesn't make sense if we're actually, being a little bit more competitive with things.
Is
Is the assistant manager the head lifeguard?
Essentially, their head lifeguard, the way they kind of wrote it here, and how they operate, they have basket room, lifeguard, head guard, assistant manager. And that person for the assistant, it seems to be that they're in charge of swim lesson scheduling. And then the other assistant manager is just kind of like learning. So it's kind of like funneling it up. And then the manager is ultimately doing like the scheduling and, doing that kind of stuff. And, Liam is the manager right now, and he's doing a little bit of chemical stuff, nothing too crazy, just because, he's not getting paid a ton, and I don't want him kind of like exposed to a lot of stuff. So, yeah. But that's just kind of what I would propose based off of where we're at in our area, and just from our end to not having to backtrack and pay people the year.
So it looks like you
bonus.
increased a little bit if you include the dollar bonus. Because the numbers in the chart are not with the dollar, correct? That we said.
So the cashier one technically isn't. Sorry.
Okay.
That one is at 9, so they really be at 10, and then
That's what you're proposing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to get that. That one's
Yep.
not raising that much.
Correct. But that one puts it at the average a little bit more.
Yeah.
And what I'll be honest with that position, they're not doing a lot comparatively to other ones.
Yeah.
With food sales and stuff like that. But the other thing that is kind of a little tricky with that is we're not really posting the correct wage either. It seems like everything I found, we're posting and saying that they would get $9 or they'd get $11 for guarding instead of putting it at their actual bonus rate. And I think that might help us get some more maybe interested people.
Yeah.
But the basket room is a tough one because we don't need a ton of staff on that one, but it's I don't think it's comparatively to the other places. It's as
Do you have a
extreme.
breakdown on what the increase would be over, like just using the hours so far this year?
Yeah, that's
Like I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
like an average year,
Yeah,
what
that's
does this do to our budget?
Yeah. So right now I was looking at it, we're at like 2,000 hours. Okay. 2,000 plus hours. So it's not like it's going to be a huge hit on things, but I do think that there's other ways that we can kind of like change up some stuff and fix some things. One of them for August at nights, we're not having 3 guards there in the manager and a basket room. We're just having 2 guards and a manager. We're not going to do tiny tots next year because financially we're losing money on it. So there's different ways that number will, if we just ran everything the same, it would obviously go up, and it would probably go up like $6,000, $7,000. Yeah. So it's not like a huge amount, but it entices people when they're like,
I'm just asking the question.
yeah, no, you're good. And I don't want you to think I'm mad. But there's other ways that it'll go up a little bit, but then it'll also come down and be where it should be because we're getting rid of some like dead weight on it. It's the same thing on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm not a big fan of staying open till 8:30. I think 8 is more than sufficient, and you start calculating it out through the year, and you do save some money. And some of the stuff, I know some people might be like, well, I close at 8:30, and that's just kind of one of those things where you have a bunch of lifeguards that are 15 and 14-year-old people there that it's like, well, they're getting a little close to the 9 o'clock threshold to get out of there. So that's what I'm kind of looking at.
Hey, can I ask sort of what's prompting this discussion, this book with that?
So obviously I'm new here, and just looking at the wages of things, I don't think that based on them being certified, they're anywhere where, and it's pretty obvious that they're not where they need to be. Okay. A lot of the staff we'd like to retain and keep there multiple years, as opposed to having some of these kids that are like kind of, I don't want to say stuck, but they're stuck lifeguarding and coaching the Stingrays. That way they make enough money, and then they're with us probably like, it looks like two years at the best, and then they're bouncing. Okay, so I would like to entice them to stay a little bit longer, especially when you're doing the 50 cent increases. That way we get, a lot of trustworthy kids there and kids that are even more connected to the place.
My son quit after a year and my daughter was 2 years.
Yeah,
And then we
and
found jobs that pay more.
yeah, and that's the tough thing because we got to realize where we're at because, the kids, especially when they turn 16, they can just drive to Middleton and get a job somewhere else. And, like I said, it's not like this is the only kind of low pay. We're the refs. We went to a flag football meeting and we told them what our refs got paid, and everybody kind of laughed at us for how low it was. And that's not great to be doing to the kids of the community, in my opinion. But
The impact on the budget sounds like could be almost a wash at your proposed rate with some of the adjustments of.
well,
How many like FTEs you have on a given time?
I mean, we're like for the budgeted amount, it looks like year over year the manager comes in pretty consistently, at its like max. So that'll go up a little bit, but the staff wages that they budget for year over year, it's like 51,000. It comes in lower than that. And that's where we just kind of got to do a little bit more reflecting too on, maybe we got to try and sell some different things in concessions. Maybe we got to change up some rates. Because, yeah, and like I said, the tiny tots is a good example of something that I don't think should be there because it's not making money. Since you're new, it's a one-on-one class, and it's $50. Yeah, a lot of my aquatic friends, they all laughed at me when I told them I inherited this, because it should be a lot higher if we're going to do a one-on-one private lesson. But
Is that worth exploring?
we do, and it's hard for some people to understand, like, because the going rate for a private lesson is normally like $1 a minute at least. So when they're paying $30 for a 30-minute class as opposed to right now $50 and meet 9 other times, that's a bit of a wake-up call for people. But like I said, it's to try and retain better staff on it. And I would like, if anybody's got any other questions on it, just to kind of show them out. And
I guess just some thoughts, maybe conversation starters or two, or continuing the conversation. So you're proposing raising it, kind of get in sort of not the highest point, but towards the high end. Is that more competitive, like middle of Cross Plains?
Mm-hmm.
That's about right.
Yep, to be competitive with other places that are around us. I mean Mazomanie, yeah, those are, and I mean it's pretty much identical. Yeah, Mount Horeb is like a weird. It's an interesting pool. We'll just say that. Yeah, but yeah, those are the big ones, and our big one here though is the Middleton pool. And right now a lot of the guards that we have there, like, we're very codependent on the stingrays because most of the staff is all stingrays, which is awesome because we have really good swimmers then. But it'd be kind of nice to try and entice some other kids that aren't a part of the stingrays group, because right now the way we're operating is if there's a stingray swim meet, we're closed.
And it's been like that forever.
Yeah.
And then the cashier position, you made a mention there, like kind of reducing those hours throughout the year a little bit.
That one, not reducing that one. That would be
Reducing how much you schedule.
not for the cashier. I'm looking at, like, instead of us being open till 8:30, we'd be open till 8. And you start doing the math on that, and you are going to save some money. But I'm looking at, like, in this month of August for weekdays, we're not having an additional person on staff.
Do you think you're overstaffed some days?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then total impact to the budget sounds like, based on history, you're saying we're under budget.
Yeah.
Has that been the last couple of years?
It's been quite often.
Last 2 years has been consistent?
More than that. And
Okay.
the way that they kind of operate with the budget, and it's a little bit confusing for me, to be fully transparent, is like I'm used to a budget that's a lot more dialed in. Like if I got $90,000 to spend in a budget for staffing, I expect to be within like $2,000 to $3,000 of that all the time. unless it's super hot, then, you should have your revenues reflect it. Whereas this one, it's, sometimes $10,000-$15,000 different. So quite a bit.
Yeah.
But then it's going somewhere like else.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know what all that means, but.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, I'll dig into the budget side as time passes, but yeah, I guess my thoughts on it are, it's not a big pool. It does seem to get a pretty good amount of traffic.
Mhm.
So I appreciate the idea of trying to keep some better staff.
Yeah.
And just getting some of that tenure, because we all know training, that just adds to the labor time we have to train new staff. I'd be encouraged to, kind of definitely try to get on the north end of it,
Mhm.
because it sounds like you're already under budget.
Mhm.
And if you think that you can meet some goals of getting some better staff and maintaining staff and stay within the budget that's allocated, I mean, I support it. I would encourage it.
Mhm.
And then considering the other changes you're thinking of making about reducing staff on some of those slow nights, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Sounds very responsible.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I think of the resources that Cross Plains has, right? Like the pool it's a pretty cool place. It's pretty simple.
Mhm.
It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it gets a lot of use. I think trying to encourage that and maintain that is a good thing.
Mhm. No, I get you there. And, kind of circling back real quick on you saying the training, that's the big one for me, is just trying to get everybody on the same point and have year over year consistency. Cause I mean, when I look in like the program guide and read some of this stuff, like you can tell that a lot of it is kind of fallen by the wayside,
Right.
where like they used to do it, but there's been so many like changes in staff where then it's being forgotten. But I mean, it's not like it's a secret. It's pretty common trend across a lot of aquatic facilities that you're having, a person in the basket room a year, and then they go to guard for a couple of years, and then they're probably a head guard if they're still there at that
Right.
point. But
are your wages matching Middleton's?
no, we'd be a little bit under at 17, but we based on the budget, we can't quite get there. That's the school. Yeah.
Not the.
Yeah, the outdoor is at 17.
So you've done the assessment, you can't match that.
Just looking at it, I don't think it would be a good idea. At this point.
Way more.
And well, that's the other thing is, their pool is also generating in, I mean, this one's generating in like $60,000, whereas theirs is generating like 4 times that amount.
Right.
So I mean, it's kind of
They can afford to pay more.
Listen, I think
Yeah.
that there are kids who, like, it's getting closer, and so I think there's sort of like Cross Plains is a lot less stressful than Middleton, from what I've heard. And I think
That's a whole different
Yeah.
environment. Like,
I feel like
There's
in the past,
five.
we've really focused on if we're able to hire enough guards or not. And after talking to Kane and talking about the retention piece and how important that is, and also how that can lead to increased revenue, that really changed my mind. So it's like, okay, that's true, because now if you have these experienced people, they can do better programming that can generate more revenue. And then also there's better services to the communities. Then I'm like, okay, well, then that seems.
So basket room is the same.
Technically,
with the
yes.
bonus.
technically yes, but it just advertised as 10.
Let's just assume the bonus is already part of the pay.
Yeah.
We're going up how much then for lifeguard? $1 after the bonus? Or just-
No, it'd be $3. $3.
Assistant manager is 2,
It'd be 3.
3, and then manager.
Would be 3. Yeah.
I'm
And
just trying to.
Right.
yeah.
I need to just come back because I couldn't.
Yeah, yep, I know, I was doing.
And like I said, it's kind of a tough one to gauge an accurate number. Like I said, I've tried to cut out some things. But when we're running a tiny tots where we're spending like, $4,500 in staffing and we're only bringing in like 4,800, it's clearly not worth it. And obviously we'll take a little bit of a hit on the revenue initially for some lessons, but I feel like there's a lot of different ways that we can try and figure some stuff out, because I mean, I'm not a big fan of the hours on some of the stuff we're running. It seems like we got some dead time where we could fill it with something else, or just kind of like, change up a couple things.
Yeah, it sounds like there's not a lot of based on what you're saying, there's just not a lot of like established protocol for the positions.
I'd say it's could be better.
Okay. I mean, that would be my recommendation is like, move in this direction. So I would support it. But then I would also encourage like, working with that team at the pool, manager, assistant managers, the lifeguards, and trying to develop a better protocol for how we can be more refined in sort of membership screenings, additional revenue with, trying to find ways of additional revenue, and then maybe work on a plan that maybe in future years you look at increasing that another dollar or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because that, to your point, right? I mean, you make it a better experience for everybody, and get some more established sort of ground rules and uphold the protocols that are supposed to be in place. That could be a good thing.
Anybody else got questions or comments?
I guess, well, you ask yours, but then I also want to know like what kind of action you would like.
Oh, I know what my question was. Do the lifeguards get their own training, or does the village take part of that training?
So right now we luck out a lot by having them get certed at the school district through a class.
Is there a cost? I can't remember.
To my knowledge, no, but it's a whole semester. Okay. Now, with the current setup here, the guard cert's good every 2 years. They have to re-up it, but the state is making people get recerted in CPR every year, and get that. Since I'm an instructor, I just did the waiver process for him and had him like do it with me. If I would have run that through the Red Cross, then it would be, $50. But, since I'm an instructor and can train them, I mean, and put through the certs, then there would be a fee with it. But, it depends on what you want to do. Cause
So
some
I'm wondering if
pools,
that's a way to like entice more people too, right? Like we're going to provide this training that normally you got to pay $50. And I know it's not a lot
Well,
for a
if
kid.
they're taking a class though, I mean, that's giving up, non-core, choice class, whatever.
I'll admit it'd be hard to run a class at our pool that's a full class based on us trying to open, but the recert, we can knock that out in like 8 hours.
That's a perk though, if you don't have to go somewhere else.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, no fee for
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to get at, right? Maybe there's like marketing towards that piece, right? I know it's not a ton of money, but it's also.
Is it not standard around here for pools to offer that for their?
Well, it is and it isn't. Like sometimes you still have to travel somewhere else. Like I've taken mine since I go to Verona or I'll go to MSCR and do mine, and it's $50 to $100, but then you're still there for your time. But we haven't had an instructor here, so that's the big
They got to
thing.
take care of that on their own.
Yeah, that's what they've had to do. They've had to figure it out.
They take a 3-day course, and then they have to pay a fee for that.
Yeah, and that's probably like $200.
So we do like, I mean,
Do you want us to make a
if
motion?
somebody want to make a motion to,
I mean, this is going to go to the village board for them to have to approve this budget item, I'm assuming regardless.
Mhm.
Right? So I think we go, my personal opinion is I'll make a motion to go with this.
make this
Yeah,
recommendation.
I'll make a motion to increase pay for basket room to $10, lifeguard swim instructor to $15, assistant manager to $18, manager to $20. For each year of service, the employee would receive 50 cents an hour increase in pay, and the bonus at the end of the year of $1 will be removed from the current process
And then just say a year.
for 2027.
Yeah.
Year.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Okay, any discussion?
I have one last question.
Yeah,
Not to interrupt the motion. The 50 cents per hour increased pay, are you going to implement that and sort of retroactively for employees that have been here for a few years already?
Yeah.
Within the position of.
Yeah, within their position.
Right, I think it's good enough, but
Yeah.
it's within the position, yes, motion is within the position.
any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
I
All right, motion passes.
Work.
All right, then going on to number 3, discussion regarding recreation software portal updates.
Yeah, so this one just super simple. Currently we have Sportsman. We're looking at a couple different options, and I just threw it out there for the MyRec and Rec Desk. We've sampled a couple other ones, and we're just kind of kicking it to you guys to see if you've used either of those portals with MyRec or Rec Desk. I'm familiar with MyRec through my time in Columbus. I want to say that Middleton uses Rec Desk, so I don't. Yep. So I don't know if you could share a little bit on that in just a second, but we're just kind of looking for different perspectives from the user end of things. I think that these are very, very similar portals. The Sportsman one is very archaic, and it reminds me of using a different portal back in the day. So anyway, if you want to just share the Rec Desk and kind of some of the things that they have there, that'd be.
These for the general public to use.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we would use it on our end to create the programming and everything. And ultimately, my goal would be to have like everything pretty much 100% digital. I don't want to like screw around with taking a bunch of checks and stuff like that, and having people fill out those sheets. So these are very modern. We would just need to get a little bit of other software, maybe with some, little Chromebooks and stuff like that. But I'll let you kind of.
Sure. I mean, I'm not. I've signed up for my fair share of rec programming through the Rec Desk, and it's pretty easy to use. I mean, and I'm even doing it on my phone instead of a computer, so the mobile use is friendly. It's easier to search for things than the Sportsman and like find what you're looking for. Even though Middleton's obviously offering like a lot of programming than we are, like it's simple to get to what I need. I think the checkout process, it's probably the same number of clicks, but like it's intuitive and simple. I wish that, and maybe this is like a function of how Middleton has their setup rather than like maybe this could be changed. I don't know. But whenever I'm doing the sign up there, like you can't like batch acknowledge the waiver, even if it's like the same participant in like the 6 different things you're signing up for, so that's a little annoying. And I guess maybe that's the same in Sportsman, and I just haven't like used it for as many things at once. But overall, it's pretty easy to use.
Yeah, I don't think that the Sportsman has the waiver set up correctly. But I get what you're saying on the waiver end of things. That's one thing that
I have to like. I mean, I just did 4 months of Taekwondo, and I have to do that each time.
Yes.
Yes. For the same person.
Yeah. So you signed up all together on those? And okay. Were they all separate like classes?
Yes.
Yeah, that's. Gotcha. All right, that sounds good on me.
Well, I like. It says it's within the same season and it's the same class, just like you enroll 4 times because they go by the month. Like, I don't know, I feel like we could say that, but I don't know that we would have as many similar things like that happening here just based on the type of program you offer either.
Gotcha.
But, I mean, overall, like I prefer it over what we have here.
Yeah. I know for MyRec, it was, if we had 2, kids signing up for like swim lessons, they'd have to go through and do the waivers each time. But I think if they signed up for multiple swim lessons, they just had to do the waiver once if it was like all 3 of them. So it might just be a setting thing on the Rec Desk. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, anybody else got any? I mean, you guys have used it, haven't you? Sportsman, yeah.
Oh, is that? Oh, yes, I have used ours a lot.
I never signed my kids up for anything.
There you go.
I have.
Not too cross plates.
Ouch. I'm messing with your end.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not.
Good.
I mean, I've used a lot of different apps for my kids.
Is there a yearly fee with all of these, or
so?
How does the
yeah. So Sportsman is $3,700. Okay, but we're not using the whole portal. That's what I found out. So the whole portal, if we wanted to do the 100% buy-in of it, is $6,000. Okay. My rec is a weird tiered system, just to be aware of. So like we would be in the tier that's like up to $180,000 funneling into the site, and that gets you like $4,600 worth. Okay. RecDesk doesn't have a tiered system. It's just $4,700. And then we would have an option to purchase and get like the mobile app with it. I don't know if Middleton has that, but that's like an extra.
I've been doing it like through the browser.
Yeah, you can do it through the browser, but there's actually an app that you could add on for like an extra $1,100. But most people hold off on the app until they've, officially decided, because these are just, yearly contracts. It's not like you're stuck with them forever. But yeah, so
The biggest issue I run into with the Sportsman app is when it's like, for a while, we were doing the Trout Days run, and people would have to go into this to sign up. And so like those of us parents who've used it every year, we're used to it and we know it, and it's fine. It's when it's new people, or like, if we're gonna do, hopefully we're gonna do more and more events.
Yeah.
And so people have to sign up through that. Like, I think people will they'll just give up because I don't know. It just seems.
Especially if you're used to like I use Bike Reg, right? And it's super easy. You make an account, which credit card in there,
Yeah.
you go. Sign
Yeah,
your waiver. Super
Right.
straightforward. Like everything just
right.
walks you right through it.
So I think I don't know.
oh, that sounds good to me. Just to get some feedback on it, because like I said, ultimately I don't want to use Sportsman anymore, but it's just nice to kind of see that people have some familiarity with RecDesk. And
Are those the main like three other like?
there's other ones.
Others, but
Like there's a whole bunch of them. There's Sportsman and ActiveNet. ActiveNet's kind of just gone the route of getting there for some reason. MSCR has them, and the YMCA's have them, but they're a real clunky old system. MyRec and RecDesk, and then Civic Plus or Civic Rec are pretty similar. Civic Plus is kind of like the Cadillac model, because it would go off of your village website, because that's who we go through. But that one's like $10,000, and once again, that one's like Sportsman, where you can doctor it up and get down to a price that you want to get to, but then you're not getting the full package.
just asking the question because
We
those
kind
other
of
two are kind of like in the ballpark of the
Yeah.
other one.
we did some of them out already. Ones that I knew that like financially we just couldn't stomach, because like ultimately going up an extra $1,000 on two portals that are going to be way more user friendly, but also like on our side 1,000 times easier than
Is there an efficiency savings on your team?
yeah.
Using one?
I mean, I could
tell
do,
me about it.
yeah, I mean, I could do everything. I mean, when I had my rec, like I would show up for some programs and just like pull the roster up on my phone, or I could like call a person right off the app and stuff like that. Like it's way easier.
I mean, if you're saving 20 hours a year
Yeah, I mean, it's significant. Like you
between
can,
you and the others.
yeah, and it's really easy to like go through and clone programs year over year and do stuff. It's definitely a lot easier to use.
$1,000 somewhere.
Yeah. So we'll kind of try and figure out a decision on that, and hopefully get that going for next year, just so everybody can get
Do
on it.
people not sign up for programs? I mean, I think I've heard of this, but I'm asking. Like, I think I've heard of people not signing up for programs because they have the difficulty with it.
I think it's most like events. I think also, like, I think of like my dad, he would give up in like 5 minutes after.
Yeah,
Like,
I've tried it, it's clunky.
yeah,
Kind of the one-off people doing it.
right. I do think that.
So we might be losing money though.
Right.
Because I guess that's
Right.
my point, right? We might be losing money as
And the other thing,
the people that are wanting to do these activities.
yeah, and the other thing too is like some of these portals, you can do a lot of different stuff on. Like hypothetically, if we wanted to get rid of taking dog license money here, we could just put it on this portal and people could do that there.
If you did that,
Yeah,
if you did that, I bet you would increase the amount of.
Well, yeah.
Same thing with like the pool.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Getting people to
Yeah.
actually sign up for pool membership.
Yeah, so there's different ones on that, and the portal can definitely save a lot of time. But no, it's nice to hear what people are thinking on that. So we'll have to circle back on that. No, this one's just discussion. Let you guys know what's kind of going on. Yeah, and then some of these two, it's just quick hitters because obviously we're down Emily right now, and then you're new, just to get people's minds on it. But one thing that we did with using my rec, yeah, sorry.
Moving on to discussion regarding.
Thank you,
our
thank you.
policy for aquatic and recreation program.
Yeah,
That's great. We're good at time too. It's great.
I'm not looking to have any motion on this, just get people to think about it. Once again, we have quite a few people that have done programming elsewhere. But one thing that I'm seeing is the refunds here are a bit of a problem. If we cancel something, by all means, we'll give a refund. But when it comes to just people like all of a sudden backing out last minute, it's pretty common practice for there to be some type of fee, especially with how much credit card processing costs, and then also just the staff end of things. So this one's Sun Prairies. Theirs is pretty clear and concise, but I do like their kind of little caveat that they have here at the bottom that we can kind of talk about, because this is ultimately what we went to in Columbus too, where there's deadlines to certain programs. If somebody cancels before then refunds are a little bit nicer. But if it's canceled within a certain amount of time, then there's some fees, especially when we have t-shirts being ordered and have to backtrack on some of that. And it kind of then also gets you thinking about a policy for like late entries into things instead of just kind of making something up.
I think 5 days is pretty generous. I would go with the week personally, just because it's like.
And like I said, this isn't anything we're deciding today. It's just
I'm giving you I think 7 days. Like if I pre-register for an event, it's at least 7 days in advance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some events I registered for in November that are in August. You're getting 10 months.
And usually there's no refunds.
You might be able to transfer to the following year,
Right.
right? And with the the withdrawal fee or whatever,
Mhm.
like. I don't know what our programs cost, but maybe even do it based on a percentage or.
Well, that's what I was thinking
So-
about. Most of our programs are pretty cheap.
Yeah. So one thing that we did is we had it a little bit more tiered than this, and theirs is a little bit different. This is just kind of the broad scope of it. But if you have programs that are, say, like some of them, if it's $20 and under, they just don't give a refund. That's just is what it is. If somebody's trying to withdraw, but there's different tiers that you can have, because we went to one where it was $5 if it was a certain amount of days out, then there was 10, and then it was obviously
Unless one of those new portals can take care of that.
but there were they're going to be totally fine on those portals doing that. But the thing that's a little bit different here is like thinking about some things you might not necessarily want to give a certain policy like that. You might want that little caveat where it's like, hey, the rec director can decide things. Maybe we have somebody sign up for swim lessons that's just not quite ready. That's a refund that I'm fine giving to somebody, full refund. That way we don't have to, wreck that relationship
for next year. Hopefully.
Yeah. And it's the same thing, but then there's other programs where you might say like, no, you took a kid's spot, you can't get anything back. Because one thing that is a little bit tough and kind of concerning to an extent is, the refunds with the camp. If somebody signs up for it like a couple months out, and then all of a sudden they decide, hey, we're not going to actually be able to make that week. Well, that's a tough one because people already.
You could, and then now you don't have any time to market it. To, replacement, right? Unless you have a wait list, which maybe the portal can do wait list too.
Yeah, they can do all that too, but it's once again like, how are you going to train? Yeah.
I think for me, I think credits are more than enough, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're going to give somebody $10 back, there's no credit card processing fee. If you just have a credit within the system, and you're not giving them actual money back.
Yeah. Because they have to use it somewhere else, and it's you're not giving out anything for free.
They're not losing it.
Yeah.
But
and that's why I had this come after the software thing, because the refund is a lot easier to do on and do credits on accounts, because like for us, what we would do is we'd have people do, sign up for $100 program, they bail on it, they're left with $85. They don't know what to use it for. So then they put it on like a concession card, and then we would just like scan it for money to come off there. So there's different options with different portals that you use. But just to get it on everybody's mind, like I said, it's something hopefully you guys can kind of do a little bit of investigating.
like
and
the
see
note
what-
at the bottom there too, like, because there's weather that happens. I hear
Yeah.
people complaining when the pool closes early, and it's like it's 60 degrees out and it's raining, right? Like,
Can't be open all the time.
what are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the risk you take.
Yeah. But anyway, the other thing too with this that Sun Prairie does, and this is kind of a nice thing, and this will be something pretty far down the road once we get a portal all established, is they have a credits expire at the end of the year. I know when I left Columbus, there was like $1,500 just like floating out there in credits. And by the end of the year, like essentially they should be like null and void, because that would be carried over to the following year, and then that would hit your budget negatively. So what they do is they wash those out, and then they would go to like a scholarship fund. So that would be money that you could just be like, hey, we had $500 in here. Somebody that's in need of wanting to do like rec programs, they could apply for it and do that. So that's another like little thing that you could do with this that Sun Prairie does that goes over quite well. They obviously have a lot more refunds that they have to worry about, so that's why they do that. That way it clears out their books. But even for, like I said, in Columbus, we had $1,500 in money that was hanging out there, and that was just in May.
So you keep track of the money. They kept track of the money that was left over for scholarships. Like, just books are cleared, but it's in
it goes to a different fund. Like that's just zeroed out and it's carried over to a different fund.
I really like that idea.
Yeah.
Personally.
Anybody else?
It's an interesting discussion, because I know my family, we've looked at like the programs here in the past, like, oh, look at that, you can just cancel whatever you want.
Yeah.
So it offers families some flexibility when
Mhm.
they're trying to map out a summer. Like, where are we gonna put the kids? And then kind of knowing you have Cross Plains as like a ball fail safe,
Mhm.
So there are some advantages for families to not have a cancellation fee and fund,
Mhm.
or a fine, I guess, or whatever that might be.
At least you
So-
get something back.
Right, so I think just being sensitive to that, with families of different sort of, backgrounds and what they have access to. You mentioned in there, like, sort of a scholarship fund for families maybe that, might really be able to benefit from that sort of thing.
Mhm.
I love that idea. If you're gonna implement something like this to build maybe like a comparable program that sort of maybe addresses families that maybe don't have as much income in the household or something like that. There's an application they can go through for sort of assistance or, something like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. The thing that just bounces in my mind is, like, historically, Cross Plains has had programs that are like easy to sign up, aside from the soccer being challenging.
Well,
Easy
yeah,
to sign up for, but you can cancel whenever, right?
yeah, it depends. I don't know. I've been on it midnight or at 8 or whatever. Something.
Things are very popular and fill up fast and other things.
Right.
We used to have a dance program that was like,
Fill up quickly.
And with that being mentioned too, like I feel like there's a lot of things of them. If we know that something's a hit, to run it back a little bit more.
But this,
Because some of those, when people sign up for that and then they bounce on that, it does make it hard to try and get a last minute entry.
right.
Especially for like swim lessons is the big one on that. You know, some of these one-off programs aren't a huge deal, but like when you have a family that cancels when they have 3 kids, like that's a huge hit, especially when they're all in different levels. And then you're trying to like figure out like, oh crap, we're gonna do.
The swim lessons there.
Right.
Yeah, for especially, you know, the first session and third session for whatever reason are like the
Yeah.
go-to ones. But yeah, just
Jane, my last question on this, and I'm only curious, like how many programs are signed up between say September and December 31st, right? Let's say you sign up for a program on December 15th and you want to cancel, but now the money's gone on December 31st, right?
Mhm.
Is there a way to, you get what I'm asking? I don't even know what the solution is, but I'm concerned if somebody registers for something towards the end of the year and then they lose their.
So I get you there. What I would say, and this is the nice thing about if we go to a different portal, is a person might not ever lose that if they just say, hey, I want this to go to concession credit at the pool.
Get
Or
a card before the end of the year.
well, yeah, it's just a reloadable card, or we can just put it on their account and then we know not to take that off. That's kind of like the little fail safe on things.
So there's some workarounds with ways.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And it's not like in, you know, grand scheme of things, I don't think there's a whole lot of programs we're offering.
Just asking.
No, I get you.
That's like, cool. I like it.
But
I mean, there are a few programs, right?
there's like basketball, but it's not like towards the dead end of,
Okay. Oh, you meant towards the tail.
yeah. You know, I guess the other thing that you can think about, and this is a lot more work on like staff end, is thinking about, and some places do it, their credit goes for a whole year. So like
Purchase.
so if I cancel,
Then that
Yeah.
makes it hard to flip.
books out. That's kind of the big thing, and why, especially like a place like Sun Prairie, maybe it's not a big deal here because we're not going to be dealing with, you know, thousands upon thousands of dollars like Sun Prairie would be.
Could you move away from dollars? And just have it be like like you think of like college or high school, right? There's like half credit courses, 2 credit courses. We actually like assign a different credit scale to classes. That way, when you offer a credit, somebody just has like two point credits sitting in their account or something.
Yeah, that might be a little tougher on that end. But I get what you're saying, where it's like, you know, not a dollar
Not
figure.
money related, right?
It's just you
In
carrying
theory.
over
Yeah.
that. But I don't know, just, you know, something to have
Yeah.
everybody think about. Obviously, this isn't something we're deciding today by any means. This is like into the future.
You need to get the new system first.
Yeah, and
Assess.
that's why it kind of is, I'm hopefully
order.
having that kind of flow, I guess. But yeah. Anyway,
Any more discussion?
I will just say, good, nice work. I mean, I think doing this and the previous item of like getting a system that's easier and more fluid for
mhm.
community members, I think that's in itself going to save a lot of time and confusion.
One would hope.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. Like I've tried going through the software myself, looking for classes, and I kind of get lost sometimes.
Mhm.
And then you end up just sort of emailing or calling.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a lot more time investment there.
Gotcha.
Right, then we can move on to number 5, discussion only regarding fall 2027 online recreation activity guide.
Okay. So let's see if this thing will pop open here. Well, there we go. Anyway, you know I mentioned, you know, Matt obviously taking a different job. He had one of his friends working on some of this, where we just got, you know, some of the stuff related to the dock here, and working on it on Canva. And Jill's been looking at some stuff. This is obviously last year's program. I know that there was kind of a request last meeting just to think about including you guys a little bit more on stuff. This program guide, to my knowledge, it's always been digital, right? But I guess,
It's fall 2026.
yeah, for
Okay.
this next one, did I screw that up?
Good.
I got it. That's on me. Sorry. But with the program guide, I'm kind of, once again, we're going to come back next and meeting hopefully and have everything dialed in. But I wouldn't mind if people just kind of like looked at some stuff on it. It doesn't need to be, today, or maybe you guys had a chance to look at stuff beforehand and just kind of make some suggestions on, I guess, layout and what programs you think are decent enough.
We've been
Is-
doing cash and check for like when I used to play basketball at the school.
Yeah.
Is there, I mean, I look at maybe you still accept cash, but I think there's maybe better ways to accept payment, or like maybe that's part of a new system too, like cards. I just think as somebody, I don't know, like when I did it, it was a guy, and I'm guessing he just turned it into like an envelope, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not like I don't trust someone with whatever was in there, $60 or whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, is that really the most appropriate way to do it?
I mean, once again, there's different things, and different ways to look at the portal. Like, I know that quite a few of these things in here are cash transactions with like the drop-in stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah. So like some of those, and it's the same thing with like, yoga. I know that for yoga, she gets money handed directly to her. It's not like it's the end of the world, with that, but there are other options where like a different portal, you could technically just take somebody's card if we like got them, say, a Chromebook there,
Yep.
or got them some,
Or something.
yeah, where they could just, do the touch thing right on there and it would, do a drop-in fee. So there's different,
Make it easier for people to give you the money.
yeah, and then we just know exactly what's kind of going on for numbers and everything, but it just kind of depends on which direction we go with that portal and then how much we want to kind of embrace it.
That was just something I had thought, I've been thinking about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt.
So I think it was
Maybe add like tips on it or something.
But I'm even thinking of liability waivers, all of that stuff, right? I mean, people always have a phone, always have a credit card, right? Like you don't even need to have a card anymore. You just use your phone to pay it.
Yeah.
Why are we making people collect cash and checks and then giving it to you?
Yeah.
And then they gotta look like.
So that's the thing, is you could set it up where it's like, okay, we got drop-in basketball and a person could go to that entity or on their phone themselves and like do a $5
And then
thing
you
and then
show
you show
the
like, hey, I got it. Or you could have the person there taking money with their phone. So yeah.
Yeah, I think long ago this was printed out actually, and it was like on a nice glossy thing. It's probably expensive.
It's very expensive. The fall one, yeah, it sounds like it's historically now been digital, which is nice. But I know the one in the summer, it sounds like it costs like, just for the paper, it's quite significant, then postage too for everybody. But yeah. I don't know. Anybody got any suggestions or thoughts on this? I mean, like I said, we sent it out. I'm not sure how much you guys had a chance to look at some of it.
So what type of feedback specifically are you looking for?
Anything. You could tell me it's terrible and I wouldn't take it too personal. Like, I'm just looking for different things.
It's lots of information, and I think it's well put together. It's very nice looking, but is it like drawing to what you want to find is my question. I think there's just a lot of information out there. Right? I don't necessarily know how to make it better. I'm not a graphic person, but I think it looks great. Like it's obvious someone put a ton of time into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great too. I echo the same comment. I think it's just a lot of information.
A little wordy.
So, having 2 kids in elementary school, the amount of like stuff we get from schools and like related programs, it's so much.
Like this, I see really well. Like this is very clear, right? There's 2 things on the page, but when you scroll to the top with the drop-in stuff, and there's like 6 things or 7 things on there, my mind, like that page too.
You're talking like this stuff?
This stuff, yeah. Like, I mean, that one I guess is pretty clear because it's, for me, it's very symmetric. It's when it's not symmetric. I think it'll,
Like a consistent.
that one I have a hard time with.
Right. More spacing.
Again, that I'm being very
No, and I think some, have been brought up too, just because like a lot of people here have taken part in the programming and so had some feedback of maybe programs that.
Oh, like getting rid of some programs?
Sure, like.
That's also for discussion,
Like a gap, like where it's.
Like things to add.
Yeah, so all of those.
All of
things.
it, not just the look of it. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going based, this part here is like, there's a lot of information,
Yeah.
So
which I think is good.
as a newbie, can you kind of share how you would add or subtract from this list? Like,
Could you even have this?
you just wave a
like,
wand and you
post
have
it?
Yeah.
As a newbie myself,
Indoor soccer, you could add.
Well,
For
I think
example,
it
right?
wouldn't even necessarily be for this year, but. like
yeah,
Yeah.
future.
next year.
I guess for us, like just talking with Jill and Matt on some of these, you guys can go through here and see that there's certain, maxes and mins to things. There are some programs where they have said that they're not running because they don't get to that number.
Right.
In the fall or in the summer guide, we canceled pretty much every YEL program, the Youth Enrichment League, except for chess. So like, I think it looks bad to keep canceling things.
Well, that's frustrating.
when you sign up and you- yeah.
And then don't sign them up.
Is it
Don't sign-
too
and then
few?
It's too late.
It's too few. It's like signing up one or two. And like the YEL things, a lot of people are kind of going away from because they're so pricey. But even if there's like 2 or 3 of these programs that we can like kind of get rid of.
This is all paid staff running, correct? Is there any
Well,
volunteers?
a lot of them, I mean, you get some of these with like the drop-in things, a lot of that's volunteer.
Yeah, sorry, like the programs though that you're discussing, like the ones where you have mins and maxes, are those paid instructors? Or are
Well,
staff?
yes and no. Like some of them are our staff, and then
Yep.
some of them are third-party, like contractors, like the yoga instructor, and like somebody like Barb who does
So you,
swim.
some of these you may have to hit the minimum to make it work.
Yes.
And so maybe that's the discussion then.
So do you need this 8.5 by 11 thing at all? Like, so I'm just thinking, your previous 2 bullet points, for discussion items, your new software, would it make this information more easily accessible and logical and?
Yeah. So there's trade-offs. So like I came from somewhere where we didn't do a program guide. But the big focus was a pool, so we would do a brochure for it, and then we do it like individualized like events on Facebook, or we do like flyers and stuff for that, which is kind of a problem because it doesn't like reach a ton of people. I kind of like having a program guide, but I can definitely understand getting rid of a lot of this like stuff on it, so it's condensed down, especially the summer one with that. But I wouldn't get rid of it just because like
Nice marketing.
the-
I-
and the
personally, I
norm-
like having
yeah.
because I-
Yeah. In the norm too, like in this area is definitely to have a program guide.
I mean, it's like an exciting. Wow. Like, oh, what are they offering this?
Look at this one, look at those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, I would definitely advise keeping it, but there's different things that we could do, to clean it up a little bit.
So I know some, and I'm just not government, like rec desk, my rec stuff, but some websites, web stores, they have like a PDF generator, like you can add to your website.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the softwares you mentioned, maybe they have a tool like that that's sort of embedded, where it would maybe just print it out in like a simple grid, like all your programs offer, so you don't have to like duplicate it.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a way when you sort of build your website, maybe the website is sort of the parent data, and then you can export it even as that you don't have to constantly kind of maintain both, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I'm not 100% sure on that, just because like we didn't have like the program guide look. We would just do
Right.
flyers with my rec, but I guess it's something to think about.
We were doing a survey out to see how many people sign up from this versus like some other thing.
Well, I mean, statistically
Maybe-
speaking, they say that like in a community, like it's like 10% or something of people sign, like actual
Yes.
residents sign up for rec programming.
Oh,
And then, but then there's obviously like, non
Yeah.
like paid programming. There's like bike trails and
Yeah.
like parks that a bunch of other people use. So
I
it's,
guess I'm just curious, because like there's what, 6 of us in here?
yeah,
I mean, if you didn't read the program guide, especially using the sportsman now, I don't know how you'd even know
Right.
what's offered. You'd have to like spend 10 times the amount of time going on a
Mhm.
scavenger
Mhm.
hunt rather than just
That's a
flipping
good
through
point. So people probably are using this if they're signing up.
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
dependent
like,
on
I
it.
always would get like, give it to my kids.
Let them
say,
circle
What do you
stuff.
want?
What do you want? Yeah. And they,
Like
yeah,
JC
there'd be
handicap.
stars.
I was gonna say that's classic Christmas present.
Like that aspect of it,
I do
like,
too.
you know,
Yeah, I wasn't inclined getting rid of it, but I'm just curious, like, what are some feedback we're getting from? I don't
Because we-
personally use this, right? But I
Yeah.
see it and I know it's there.
yeah. Well, and I think, I mean, Kane has brought up different ideas for advertising events. I know that one year we didn't do a printed program guide for summer, and that,
People freaked out first.
yeah, well, it was very disappointing. So, I mean, I do think there's actually, a big push to get kids off.
But the website, the village's website is better than it used to be. And I think that the information is more easily obtained from there than it used to be. So like,
Yeah.
I think there's part of that too. And like you said, marketing, making sure people know this is a thing.
Yeah, I think especially like with the fall, and I mean, you've brought this up about just advertising more of the events. Or the,
Well, or at least having, maybe a weekly or bi-weekly newsletter that goes out that says like, hey, your last chance to sign up for this is-"
Reminder.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yes,
because
do.
especially if we get so many new people coming into the area where they like miss out on the summer one
right.
because they don't even know it exists.
Especially with drop in, right? Like to your point, if you move into the community and you don't see this for 6 months and say, oh, I didn't know they dropped basketball.
Mhm.
But there's definitely, I mean, I have people who live outside of the village who get mad because they don't get to sign up on the first day.
Well, they don't pay taxes.
There's a fix to that.
I
Buy a house.
I
Rent an apartment.
explains the why, but so just see, like, there is definitely some competition for spots.
But that's a good thing. You
It is.
want
It's a good
want
thing.
these
Yeah.
filled.
Yes.
Well,
And I
much
do
they have staff to
appreciate
run.
that. I do appreciate
Yeah.
that villagers get.
Villagers.
Well, I mean, that's pretty common. The common theme is to give the tax base the first go. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I offered to compare tax.
It's quite different, that's for sure. Okay, so I guess we'll keep working on this as a staff and just, we'll try and send this out just, and see what some of your guys' thoughts are on it. This one I'm not as concerned about as the future one for the summer. And getting that one a little bit more dialed in, because that one, with the price of how much it is, we either got to crop a lot of pages or we got to like actively try and
continue to print that one.
Yeah, but there's certain things that we could probably do better where we're like not printing as many, or we're not sending them to every single resident in Cross Plains. I would rather like, and maybe the first time we like this next summer, we'd have to do it and be like, hey, make sure you get on the new portal. But then in the future you wouldn't, because like if somebody already signed up for the stuff, they're more apt to sign up for future
You have to
things.
subscribe. I mean,
Yeah, as
I hate
opposed
to
to
say
sending
that,
it to
but at the
every
same
single
time, like,
person.
people don't show up to things that matter. Just like if they don't know about it, were they looking? Did they ask? Right? Like,
Yeah, because we could still have a pile of them at,
sitting
the
right up here.
library or,
Well,
yeah,
the new village hall,
yeah,
and people can come and grab one.
Mhm.
yeah.
Mention that in your marketing campaign. Hey, you can have them and then still have and post the electronic one as well, and then they have to come and get it or subscribe to get a paper one.
Yeah.
It's just like everywhere, right? Like how many times you get a bank statement anymore, unless you subscribe and get a paper statement. Send you one.
I mean, they're definitely not cheap, and we got to kind of think about that.
Well, and yeah,
Especially with
I don't know what
postage.
kind of money you're talking, but like,
I mean, it's over $5,000-6,000.
there's your money for your pool staff. That goes, well, but
It's,
it's the world we live in, right? Like,
Yeah. I don't know, the postage, it'll be interesting because postage obviously went up too this year, if how much that'll, but that's where I think we just, you can go on your bike.
Oh, yeah.
But,
cell tag. Yeah.
I just think even if you have a subscription to get one printed, or you have them electronic, and then you slowly phase it out.
yeah.
Right? You print and sell them.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to like sending them out to the people that are already signing up for programs, but to send them out to every single resident, that's kind of a tough one because like you get it, you're not
I
gonna
look at it and then I go, "That's really nice. They did a great job."
trash.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I mean, to be fair though, that is important though too, because it's transparency and
Yeah.
you know, it shows you what your money's going to.
But I do think having it online is adequate, right? If it's adequate in fall, why isn't it adequate in so?
I mean,
Well,
There's just more some.
Admitting to looking at it in a way, there's probably a lot of people who don't even look at it.
No, I agree. I think that there's a good solution to not sending it to everyone.
Mhm.
I think that there are a lot of changes you've brought up.
Well, I think,
to me.
yeah, I mean, yeah, with the costs, like even just doing something where we have like a paper copy, but then there's a digital one that's different, and you know the back can be a QR code or something.
Yeah.
That gets you
Right
to
to your
more.
portal to sign up.
Yeah,
Right.
just to get you the different stuff.
You have time, right?
Yeah, we got plenty of time, but it's
So,
like
what if you started-
this fall one needs to kind of get going. Well, I'm fine printing, just not printing as many.
Yeah, unless you request.
It's a slow change, right? Because then nobody gets upset about not
Well, I
having
think
that.
though it's summer is a different beast than the
Yeah.
other
Yeah,
ones,
But fall
because-
could sort of ease
Yeah, I
into
mean,
summer.
well, I mean, I think like fall, I don't think people are that, it's not that big of a deal. So
Like I said, fall already isn't.
Right, but that's why I mean, like, I want you to realize though, it's very different.
Yeah.
Because like when you're figuring out your summer.
Summer's 15 pages. This one's 7.
Yeah, well, and you're looking for entertainment for your
Probably
kid all
right.
day, whereas like
Ish.
fall, you're like, something, you know.
So I-9 Sports puts their sign everywhere. Did
Yeah.
you make little signs like that prior to the summer brochure going out that says, you know, no longer printing, check out this QR code or something, put them all,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm not opposed to looking at different things, but I totally get like I said, it's very common in this area to have that program guide and send it out to some extent, or you have paper copies, but just not sending it to everybody.
Right, save the
Oh,
money.
and maybe that's on the docket for next year, where you put what the plan is for the following summer, right?
Yeah.
You plan a year in advance, or a year and a half in this case, right? Or whatever,
Yeah.
and say, you know, this will be the last year you will receive one unless you subscribe,
Mhm.
right? And that gets you.
To me, the subscription would just be them signing up for a program or having an online.
Work it, right? But you
Yeah.
cannot sign up for the program and still say you want
But
Yeah.
I wonder if we could do it.
But they could still have a family account
one. Sure.
and then still be like on the portal, because that would, I mean,
I wonder if there's a way to know the addresses of new residents, so they would receive one.
well, yeah, I mean, you would just, because that's the other thing is like maybe it's just the expectation that the chamber would like go and give these to new residents or something. Like, hey, welcome the person in.
Well, the first time you get a tax bill. You have to have to make it know this is the first time that there's a home there.
I was thinking, here's your tax bill, here's my.
Yeah.
Please read this. That was a good one.
Justin, too.
All right, should we move on to?
Yep,
number
yep.
6? Okay, discussion regarding parks, open spaces and trail signage.
Okay, so hopefully everybody had a chance to kind of go over some of this. You know, this one is just kind of like the little rundown of what they were going for a few years ago on stuff, to kind of have that universal look for everything, and update the current signs. Everybody here hopefully has seen the old signs. and then also too, like, we've had a couple new parks in that time, and like we don't have one at Scenic Valley, and we don't have one at I don't even know what that park is called. What about you?
Glacier Ridge Neighborhood Park.
There you go. So that's kind of like the rundown of it. And obviously kind of holding off on some of that. Once again, some of the ordinance stuff, you know, it seems pretty standard here with from when I'm talking to Carly about like if we, you know, take out those signs, we can easily just put a new sign in without having to worry about a ton of ordinance requirements, because they're not impeding traffic and not causing like any big obstructions. Everybody with me so far on that? Okay, cool. So this last part here is the sign matrix that we came across, and this is kind of where I might need some guidance from some people on this. You can see that the left side here has just the sign, and then the right side has like the postal mounts that they have on here. You know, I know Ron and Sarah, you guys were probably a part of this at one point, but I'm wondering where they got the artwork for these from, because talking with the sign group, the Verona sign company that's doing this, and they do quite a bit of work for municipalities and stuff. And unfortunately, this is a little blurry, but they did not do this artwork. Okay, that is kind of where we're okay. Sarah?
Wasn't on it. It was back when I was on the committee. I don't know what the company was.
So the company is the Verona like sign group, okay? But somebody else did this artwork and submitted it to them. And that's where it sounds like they're. You think Latitude maybe?
Just throwing a name out there.
Yeah,
they're in town, right?
It's just been Mike.
I have no idea. They
Just putting this.
We like talked about like, oh, should it be an orange background or a blue background? Should it
Okay.
be all this? So I'm pretty sure it was just
okay.
I think
like
They
I know he was working on it.
all the time, like, what color should the lines be? What color
Yeah.
should I mean like
I mean, I'm not opposed to some of like the colors of them. Like I like kind of the navy look of it. But the problem that the sign company had with some of these, you know, is the lettering of it would be so small. And you can see even on this, you know, Conservancy one, they said that with where this, yeah, the vertical nature of like where the name is here, he said would peel off pretty quick if it was.
You gotta like this to read.
Yeah, because it's elevated and it's too close to the sign edge that it would just you know flake off after a while. And if we're going to spend you know quite a bit of money on them to make sure they're done right, and the other problem with this sign specifically is this map here. Is he said that they wouldn't be able to. Well, he said they wouldn't be able to do that and have it look good. It would need to be somebody else probably doing like a metal sign where then they would put it on this, if everybody follows me on there. So it might just be a redesign on things. You know, for myself too, the company, his name's Justin that I've been working with, he was saying that like the top here says what you can do, the bottom says what you can't. Said some places are just going to what you can do. That way there's less stuff on the sign, from a cost standpoint. But, you know, I do think it's important that we get some of these trail markers in some spots for EMS, just to kind of know what's going on. But, you know, the quote is obviously pretty old, and he was saying that it would be a pretty big increase if we tried to go exactly with this, because they would have to improvise some stuff with the small lettering.
My guess is, I'm only guessing here. The font is probably just. I would guess somebody wouldn't want it that small. I think that's just like a rendering of like this is what it kind of look like, but obviously, yeah, you want to make it readable from the street, right?
And that's kind of where we're, you know, you look at some of the signs around here where they have like most of them, they have like the big portion of what the sign is, and then below it, they have like another portion that you can like take off. Cause I don't know, I don't think it's practical to put, every park's hours because they're all the same. You know what I mean? Just to try and like blow it up a little bit more on that end. But I don't know.
Based on what I've heard, it sounds like these haven't really been designed by like a designer per se. So I guess my recommendation would be they kind of maybe take a step back. And I don't know what how or the village's brand standards are. I mean, I know we have a standard document there, but some municipalities kind of try to find like a branded look.
Mhm. And that's kind of what they were going for here. And just, talking with Carly a little bit, it doesn't sound like there's going to be necessarily a brand look on the new building for a logo. It's, it's going to say Village Across Plains and stuff. But even to have, to me, the letters look the same as it look on these signs would be kind of important.
Well, and just that all the signs basically looks.
They should match. Yeah.
Yeah, if that's the problem now.
Right, one thing that was brought up was, now you won't be able to unsee it, but if you go and look at all the different benches in the village, there's like
Yeah,
so many different types of benches. And so now I hadn't noticed it until someone addressed it. But then we also talked about the signs, and I feel like the sign is your first impression of the area, and when they're not uniform,
uniform and I would say professionally done.
exactly.
To me, these are very.
To me, it looks like they were done in like PowerPoint, I guess.
Yeah, somebody illustrator, someone
Yeah.
like drop it and drag it.
But I don't mind like a very clean look with like the navy blue and maybe like a silver around it or something like that.
Well, my next question is, are these ADA accessible? Do they meet like visibility requirements? Because there are guidelines out there for
Yeah.
that sort of thing, and if someone in the office is just sort of putting these together, that's great. It's a concept, but I feel like if you're going to invest all this money, you got to get it to somebody that.
Yeah, it's weird though, because I feel like he had been working with a sign person. So
I couldn't find anything on it. I just know that like the
yeah.
well, these all fit the guidelines of the policy.
The self-made policy.
Based on what you have in here, though, this guideline is for parks only and open spaces, right? It's
Yeah,
not for
that's the
signage
only
on
thing.
streets. It's not
Exactly.
for.
And it's not
signage
illuminating or
from a legal
anything.
standpoint,
Yeah.
right? This is to mark a trail. This is to mark a playground,
Yeah.
right? Like,
No, but I think that kind of leads us to like some urgency on this so that we can get.
but budgetary considerations are going to be the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's
then
the other thing
regulations,
is
yeah,
the installation's not too big of a deal because we can do
You
that
can do that yourself.
in-house. But like I said,
Do you need to reinvent the wheel? I guess. Like,
have you seen the old ones?
No, I meant like could we adopt a standard that's out there? So like county has a look.
Yeah.
Could you kind of take their exact font, all that, maybe just change the color from brown to blue? And then make space for the logo.
I was guessing there's
Control bar
either.
there. Because
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we just need to find whoever's either going to design it or then take what you kind of want and say, here, make this like a typical what we would see in a village or right. And what does Milton have? What does Madison have?
yeah, so the guy I've been where they're coming up with certain logos. I kind of like just something simple like this myself.
It's not
Put together by
A person.
graphic designer.
Yeah.
Like,
And but then too, like even this is kind of a decent enough example where we have, different icons below it where they can kind of separate out.
I do think some of it though was a cost standpoint,
Yeah.
where that's why it was so basic. Oh, go ahead.
Well, just a couple of comments. One is, and you remember this, so
Yeah.
anything you change color wise is gonna be a battle. They wanna know what color orange that was gonna be that sign. They wanna know what color blue that was gonna be. There's this, well, I want this shade of blue, I want this, I don't really know if I like brown in this. There's too many versions people's personal opinions of what they think blue and green's about. I've been working on this since 2019 for my grandparents' Conservancy. We got $3,000 stuck into it, and we're back to square one. I agree with what you're saying. The answer is go to the Verona sign people. That's who Mike was working with. And if the Verona sign people say to make that sign work and be something that's going to be here, then design it for us.
Yeah.
And what's going to cost? But I was in government all my life. It's the Department of Finger Pointing. Sign committee did this guy said that, this committee was formed. We're not going anywhere, folks.
Right.
We're sitting here spinning wheels for 7 years for something that should have been done a long time ago.
So no one has gone to the Verona sign company and say, propose a sign that's.
My knowledge, I thought that's who Mike was working with, because he told me that's what we're gonna make.
All right.
That's who I've been talking with, and they have, they acknowledge it. But once again, this isn't something that they designed. They don't know where this came from.
But I think we
Then
can.
Why-
stop
and-
there. And look, then, here it is.
Here's what we want on most of our signs.
Yes.
Design it, and
But-
then we'll say yay or nay to each piece of it.
That's where we have to be a little bit more methodical than on like what actually we want. Because like to me, I don't think there's anything wrong with what's on the park signs, and I don't know why we were adding some of these other things on
What's
there.
below that under Glacial Valley Park?
It says the park hours, and
Why not just make Glacial Valley Park bigger and
What if you change the hours, you're fixed on that?
well, that's the thing. But like those are always going to probably stay the same
Right.
with ordinances and stuff. Yeah. So and it's like across the
Across
board.
nighttime drone flyers.
unless you're creating a problem, nobody's.
Is that something that like Chief Tony or something had strong opinions on wanting the?
I have no idea. I mean, it's in the ordinance. It's not on any of the current signs, but
Yeah,
I just know that the Verona sign group, they did have some concerns with these, and
So
I'm fine going with them and redesigning some of this stuff. But unfortunately, with where we're at, we can say like we want something similar since the board already kind of approved it back then.
So what did
But
the
also-
voice board approve?
They approved, it was back,
This
Like
this
20.
thing was big. The problem is, and I know what Mike was struggling with, is exactly what Ron was saying. We don't know how we can put all that map in there to be useful. We don't know how we can, the village logo, yeah, that's not a big deal, but it's here. So they're struggling with all the pieces of the puzzle to make it work. And that's, if they didn't have anything to do with it, so I'm really surprised that they didn't in design. They should, they got a graphics department, I think they do a lot of signage for a lot of places.
So
Yeah.
could you, Kane, just go to them and say, hey, these are just concept, but I need this blue, sounds like there's a blue, I need this orange, I need the font to be white,
I need it readable.
and
That's
yeah,
the first thing.
that,
Well, I
yeah,
it
they need to be,
readable.
yeah.
And if we can't make it readable, then we have to reduce to make it readable.
well, and I would say just give them those basic parameters.
Yeah.
And then in text, just say, list the items we'd like to see on each sign and let them figure it out.
Well, maybe they can design a couple different things, because like I like the vertical things down by Xander Park. You got the boardwalk and stuff. Do you really, do you need a map? Maybe, but do you need to tell me where it is in vertical that's going upwards, like the name of the park? I don't really think so, but you could put that on the bottom, put the map wider then, because now you're not putting this here, right? Like,
But Ron, that's where we're.
but that's what I'm saying, and they can
Right.
figure that out,
Yeah.
right? But like, you can give them some parameters.
Give them
I think
basic
that
stuff.
comment was, I think Mike was trying to adopt a policy first,
Right,
then go to the sign company, and now we're saying, it doesn't seem to work. And so now I
Well, I don't think we need
want
to.
to, well, we should still have a sign policy, but I think what we can do is go and say, you are the
Well,
expert sign people.
There is a
you give
sign
us-"
policy.
Yeah.
Right,
It's like 30 some pages. 'Cause
right.
I was reading it, it's super
But when you
dry.
have yours that doesn't apply to this necessarily.
I think
It's still-
This is for trails. There's a different design, that was, I think, the theme was, you have your major park, like their park, a different sign, colors and stuff the same as the village logo, great, but it was different than a trail marker versus
right.
a local neighborhood park.
Yeah.
So that's why they're trying to do this.
Put that in your scope, Kane. Say, hey, we're looking for 3 or 4 categories of park signage.
Well,
They're there.
You know,
Can you scroll down? I wanted to touch on the
whatever that says.
Carsonite post
Hey,
ones.
that's the scope.
So those Carsonite posts are those plastic ones that I just put in
Yep.
over and they don't have like, I don't know if that's supposed to be a sign on there or if it's just a sticker, because a sign won't go on those posts. They'll just bend over.
yeah, and I know we talked about them not going in the ground very far,
Yeah, well,
especially
yeah.
if they're.
Well, it's not even centered.
Well, like I said, I definitely want to. Oh,
I look at these as just rough renderings that are like, this is what we could do. But it's basically like
But
when you
from
go,
this, they did give a quote. That's the thing. That's where it throws me off a little bit.
Well,
Because
it's giving you general parameters.
Yeah, it's a size on
based on
everything.
square footage.
Yeah.
Capital complexity.
But
Is it metal? Is it plastic? Is it
yeah,
whatever?
That is a good question, what are these gonna be made of? Because initially I thought it was gonna be a foam board that is, sandblasted, and then I told it was gonna be metal. And
It's
then
not,
I heard
it's-
gonna be some sort of,
it's not metal. It's some type of like some
it's a foam base.
they're yeah, and then
Plastic.
they're taking like a router or whatever and going around it to
Yeah,
have the letters to pop up.
Expanded foam,
Yeah,
PVC based thing like that.
yeah.
But you could just do metal signs too. But I don't know what's in what does it say the ordinances? Does it have that level of detail?
Well, it's like I get what everybody's saying on the sign ordinance because like it ultimately a lot of it wouldn't apply to these, but they did approve like this concept from what I could gather. But you know, with them, I think I'll just reach back out to them, see what we can do for color, and you know, try and get the general look of them to be a little bit more cleaned up.
So just a recommendation, I don't know how much you deal with design type stuff, but I would look at this as like concept.
Yeah.
And then the way I think of like a life cycle of a project, you see, you have conceptual design,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have the design development phase, which is much more refined.
Yeah.
You start to get accurate dimensions, you start getting material call outs, a little bit better sense of like constructability. Then once you have design development, that's where you really scrutinize like little things because it's more factual. And then the goal would be coming out of design development, you'd red mark it and you'd have like a final polished, producible
Mm-hmm.
concept, right?
No, I get you.
So think of this as like, if this is concept here at the early stage, now we gotta get a design development drawing from with more detail.
No, that makes sense. I mean, like based on where they like where I think that they thought this left off is like they thought that this was kind of like the go-to. So we're kind of backtracking a little bit. So
do we know the scope? Are we planning to sign every part? Would things be excluded?
well,
I know we gotta get a design, but like
Yeah.
that's gonna be the next thing.
I mean,
to help
from
us decide.
from what I've read, this it was planned out to have each conservancy park done, and then they were going to budget $2,500.
Per sign.
Well, each year to get these signs made, and that's obviously not
enough.
Yeah, for especially for some of the big conservancy ones, and with
Well,
the
then how many
posts.
signs you-
Well, at the entrance, you do the nice
There's
one.
more
As
than one.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah, I think that's beyond what this discussion is. But
Yeah.
just something to
But I
think
think
about.
it could be something that maybe different groups or whatever would want to help the finance, so you never know. But I think also.
Yeah, but I think that's part of
Part of
the
it
problem
is-
then with getting the consistency.
Sure, but I think as we
Like
build new
patches.
parks, we wanna make sure we're.
it's just in
Well, then maybe.
and it's in the
developer
actual plan.
puts those in
Yeah,
terms of they pay for that.
Yeah, yeah.
line. Not that they put it in, but
Well, it would just be part of the impact fee.
yeah,
I was
the
gonna
impact.
say.
Yeah. It's a line
We're
item,
using-
signage.
Yeah, but like, we have a fee. They don't care what we spend, I mean, they do, but
Just have one more line. item.
it's more us just
I see what you're saying.
deciding.
Yeah.
We're gonna use the money to get
Yep.
this sign.
I'd be willing to help Kane if I can.
Sounds fine.
You know, if you wanna email.
That sounds fine.
Or if you wanna involve me in the conversation, I can help. I would obviously try not to like steer anything away from what precedent discussion has been. But yeah, it sounds like you gotta get this to a point where it's more tangible.
Mhm.
Well, we need
It's
to
not very tangible right now.
get the sign.
Yes.
Well, that's where the conversation's getting, it sounds like it's getting confusing. It's like, well, we just need this today.
No, by no means, but we got to get going on it because there's obviously been money that's been put forward to it that should be, I mean, it should have been done. So that's kind of where we're at with it.
Well, maybe we
can
can-
say the delay, the only positive is when the initial sign was put forth, which in 2019, which then got the ball rolling on everything, which was great because then you actually hear this policy manual. And now that you're actually, and when I was hearing from Mike about the little pieces that they couldn't add or weren't sure, like the map and all that, is now making sense. And now we have the company saying, this isn't gonna work for you guys unless we do a little more work.
Right.
So the steps, while taking time, and I'm frustrated with them because it's government at its best, is basically in a positive way. Because at the end of the day, I'm hoping these signs will be great and they'll stick around and we won't worry about coming back 5 years later saying, well, everything's peeled off or this doesn't make sense. So,
Yeah.
Is there a way to prioritize like the park? So I look at the first ones are like, to me, that's the priority, right? We name all our parks and conservancies. And then like these trail ones, maybe that's like the second priority. So maybe you get designs for those first and then you.
Well, I mean, obviously the Conservancy one is the biggest one to get done, and then do the parks. But
Yeah.
ultimately, like we just it'll either be a CIP thing where it's maybe we could get some money every year where we're doing a few of them. But yeah, the most important one obviously is the Conservancy. So yeah, I guess we'll go from there and try and get them to do some renderings then.
Like I said, I'm happy to engage them if you'd like. It's kind of the language I know.
What sign group are you with?
So we do more retail, commercial signage. We
Yeah.
all across the country for like convenience stores, things like that.
Mhm.
So we deal with everything from plastic, metal, CNC, backlit, all that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
But I'm happy to engage with Corona Sign, like sort of talk through next steps.
Mhm.
Because I think what would be best here is to come back with a Verona sign recommendation for each of these.
Yes.
And to your point, Ron, like a couple like A, B, C options with some sort of scoping price for A, B. So like, the old adage is, best, sort of good and okay, like come up with whatever that sort of three-tier pricing option is.
Because that was the problem. Some of us, like, I was like, oh, that's the other
Right.
side, but there were so much more.
So getting that in front of the board, letting them pick and
Mhm.
say, hey, here's your option. No, but you narrow it down. You're gonna say, if A, B, or C.
My frustration is Michael Rossi is very particular about signage. And again, I envision they've approved this. Somewhere along the line, you can make this work without having to go back and front the board. I'm just afraid we're back to square one.
I think we should be the ones promoting what we think is
Right.
the best. And then they either approve it or decline it and
Yes,
bring it back,
I
right?
agree.
It's one option to them, but maybe there's a couple.
There's not a huge discussion. then.
Yeah.
Our committee should make a recommendation.
Yep, and they either say yes
Yeah.
or no.
And just from my understanding, from the village president down, this is what they have approved.
But this is concept. So I think what we need to do is we need to explain
Flush
to
it out.
them that concept is great, but to actualize concept into something tangible, there may have to be a couple like gives and takes. And
Yeah,
the other thing that talks
Sarah.
big there is dollar.
but I think.
So like
right.
if you present a sign that has all these intricacies, the price may very well explain that.
Yeah.
So like option A, match this exactly, you're gonna get a sign that's gonna deteriorate in the first 5 years, it's gonna be the most expensive, and it's not gonna be level.
Yeah, I
So that might be option A. Option B might be a little derivation of that and
Yeah.
lasts longer and it's better price.
All right, well, I'll reach out to them. That sounds good to me. Like, I'm glad that we have a more of a starting point on this, because I feel like I kind of came into this and thought it was a little bit more like, hey, this is what we have to go with. So it's nice to kind of know that we can.
Is there any examples locally of other communities
Well-
that are have something similar to what has already been proposed here, I guess? And if not, that's fine. Just-
Like I said, they sent me a few signs of some of the work they did. So I mean, they're good at doing pretty much whatever.
But I mean, Middleton hired the same brand design company that did like WMS, right? Like you can spend thousands and tens of thousands of dollars hiring an agency.
Yeah.
To do this stuff for you. Or you can work with like the sign vendor that has in-house designers and they'll kind of work, their own angle. So it really, design is always an interesting thing, right? Because there's so many different ways of looking at it. But I think it's worth going to folks that are
I agree.
trained.
I was just thinking, like, just to get an idea is like,
I think they'll have an in-house team.
they'll have enough to do that.
It sounds like they're very experienced in it.
I'm just surprised they wouldn't say that if they said like, this font is too small, and show me what this would look like.
Who's the project manager, how much.
That's what I would say. I'm like, you tell me, you're the pro. Like, we're hiring you, right?
But who have they talked with, how much, how many different sort of like bits of direction have they been given? I mean, I think we've all been on projects before where you have like 10 cooks in the kitchen. That could probably be a factor here.
Yeah.
And maybe Mike was just trying to relay all that and it wasn't coming through, in the best way. To your point, I mean, government's hard because of that reason. We have to try to factor in all these different ideas. And then pick a path.
There's mud.
I know what I got to do, so I'm good. Hopefully,
Okay, yeah.
All right, that is all we have then. Someone wants to make a motion to adjourn.
I wouldn't want to steal your job, Ron, but
And I think this is your chance.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passed. Yay. Oh, feels better.
Lots of discussion. It's good.
There was a lot of different.